Hey there. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yes.
How are you? All
Good. How are you doing?
right.
I am in a private cohort.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what's going on here. Mm, I have not heard any. There's two other people. Um,
Yeah, I got everything today. I got everything on the calendar. I ordered the book. Downloaded my checklist, saved, downloaded the worksheet book. I just couldn't book the calls in October and November. It said I couldn't do that. Wasn't
yeah,
allowed.
I didn't set availability yet for those.
Okay, I was just trying to knock everything out.
I'll probably do that this
You've had
week.
a few other things going on.
I do. And at least we got the. Oh, here's this Bonnie. We got the military funeral scheduled for this week, so that was good.
Okay, whoops. Okay.
Hi, Bonnie. Oh, you're on mute.
Hello.
There you go. Hello.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hi.
Bonnie Allison. Allison Bonnie.
Hi, Allison.
Nice
Uh,
to meet you. You look very comfy on that in that leather couch.
Yes, I am. I'm on my heating pad.
No, good. It's gonna be a long 2.5 hours. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. I sit up at my desk to work all day, so then I have to sit on this for the rest of the day.
Ooh,
just checking in on
that's it.
the third student. Let's see if they're having a problem.
Hopefully the dogs stay asleep.
Yeah, mine won't. Mine will. I was just being interviewed for a summit, and I told her beforehand I can't control when the mailman came, and of course, with 25-minute interview, had to come right in the middle of it.
Of course. Mine don't wait for the mailman. They start singing together just as a part of a pack routine.
Oh, that's funny.
So
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a giant Anatolian Shepherd. He stands at my armpit height.
Oh, wow.
I've got a husky that had adopted me 2 years ago, a lab, and a miniature beagle.
Wow. You must have land.
Yeah,
Where are
for a
you?
while anyway. I'm down in Washington.
State of or
State of, yeah.
okay. Nice. I'm further south of you. I'm in LA area, Long Beach.
Is it hot?
Yeah, we had the heat wave. We went for a hike yesterday. We were south inland from San Diego. We checked the weather before we went and it went up 15 degrees higher. We did the last mile of the hike in 100 degrees and I thought I was going to die. Literally, I thought I was going to die.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so but the forecast didn't say that high, so we're like, okay, by 10 o'clock it'll only be in the low 80s. We can do that. It's like hiking in Hawaii. And then yeah, so it was brutal. But yeah, my dog just wanted to go out. He's got a sick tummy right now, so he wanted to keep going and like you can't. It's like we go do the business and come back. But like tonight, um, we'll take him out. It starts to break tomorrow and then it should fully break by Wednesday.
Well, we're at 92 where I am right now.
I think we were at over 100 yesterday.
On the
We're
week,
full
it's
for
like
some reason.
15.
We only
Yes,
got up to 79 today, which is
nice. We're 92 today. Yesterday was over 100. Tomorrow's 86 and then back to the mid 70s, which is perfect.
Yeah, midweek here it's supposed to be the high 70s. 80 is just perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, right now it's just really windy out too, so hopefully it's blowing it out.
All right, let's get started. I sent an email. Hopefully Nancy joins us soon, but we're not going to wait.
Let me see if
So
refilling my water, but I'm only 2 feet away, so I can hear you.
Oh, shoot, you just reminded me that I did not get my water.
I have tea in mine. Does that count?
Yes,
I think so.
it does.
I'm not a good water drinker anymore.
Oh, I drink 120 ounces a day.
If I could drink 12 ounces a day, I'd be pleased with myself. I mean, like nothing in it.
Yeah, I love water. I drink water all the time. When I go places, I go, I'll have water. They go, well, you want anything else? No, I want water.
I want to want water. I used to want water.
Yeah.
I like iced tea is my favorite. Decaf, unsweetened iced tea, and I put my own sweetener in it. But like, I don't drink water at restaurants. Like, I can't drink the glasses of water that they bring you. Like, I need bottled water, or I have my own
When I,
Oh.
when I was at
5
my,
gallon thing.
before
The well
Christmas,
water tastes good, but it ruins everything.
What, tea?
With no well water.
Oh, no, I like spring water.
yeah, so we're up at the
Kind of a
cabin,
snob.
when we're up at the cabin, we're drinking spring water, and then Chris, he had just had like a filter you put in the water through, and I told him I could taste the difference, so I literally started bringing gallons of water when I came down here. Now that I lived here, I live here, we have the water dispenser that I have at home with the bottled water. And he can taste the he's like, I can taste the difference. He had him do me a taste test. I'm like, I can tell you the difference. Yeah.
I can definitely tell the difference.
So
All right, I can
so
see that we could wind up being chatting all night, so I'm gonna say, let's go. I'm gonna share my screen. Where's the share screen? Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so welcome to Coping with Emotional Intelligence. And I'm excited for this course. I have, there we go. So I've done this will be the 5th time that we have a cohort. So it's our 5th cohort. So I'm excited about that. We're growing, being able to do one a month, 2 to 3 students right now, but we're I'm going to start marketing. And we just got put on the ICF website. So it should.
oh sweet, congrats.
Yeah, thanks. It should be, it should pick up. So I got everything's in order for level 1, everything's accredited, and we're on the site. So we're good to go. And today we're going to talk through a lot of different things. I'm going to show you how to navigate this Up Coach, which is the portal, basically. And then we're going to look at what a level 1 program is, what that means for you guys. Allison, it doesn't really impact you too much. Bonnie, it will impact you. And then we're going to look at the introductory chapter. We'll look at the schedule for the course as well. There's some down weeks and some mentoring weeks that we need to make sure everybody understands how to navigate that. I'll stop for questions. If you have a question while I'm talking, just do the raise hand thingy, and then I'll call on you when I'm done. And that should pretty much, we'll take a break halfway through as well. So that pretty much should take us to the end. I will say that, don't stress if we end a couple minutes early, or I try not to go over, but like if we end a couple minutes early, it's fine. There's plenty of extra time worked in between your homework assignments and your buddy coaching and everything. So you're going to walk away with your 75 hours. I don't typically end early, but I had one class where it was like 10 minutes and we were just kind of sitting around. I was like, well, I'm not going to keep you for 10 minutes. And somebody got concerned that they would not get their time. I was like, don't worry, you'll be fine. So I just want to say that. So Up Coach, when you go to Up Coach and you log in, you should see this, which is basically says your cohort number and the cohort date being today. And this is the program level. This has everything that you need to get through the course. I'm not going to touch this yet, but I'm going to show you this in a second. This is the actual course up here. But we're going to go down here. After each class, the recordings come up here. So they'll be visible for you if you need to go back and listen to anything. If you're out and you need to listen to it, you can come back here, whatever the reason. And this will be your class materials and your group mentoring, which is, we'll have 3 group mentoring sessions. They'll all be located here. Then when you scroll down, you'll see the forum, and I have some things already in here, so please go in and look at it. But here's your course schedule. And this just shows you starting with today, and it shows you the group mentoring. It shows you when we have our one-on-one mentor weeks, we don't have class those weeks. And I'll explain what we're going to do in those mentoring weeks as well. And then there is a break here of 2 weeks. That's because the course has to go over a certain amount of time for the ICF. So I put a little spacer in there. And then you'll see here is the second one-on-one mentor week. And then the final mentoring is at the end of the course. And that brings you to your 3 months of mentoring that's required by the ICF. You can click on this link and download that, and it will add the Zoom meetings right to your calendar. Okay, and then the second one here is your required reading. You are required to read the book, The Transformational Coach, for Your Thinking and Breakthrough to Coaching Mastery by Claire Norman. You will love this book. And it just talks about all the things that all the habits that we've kind of picked up in life, and how to overcome them. So you can purchase the paperback. I have an affiliate link here if you want to click on it. If not, you can go through your own Amazon. It doesn't matter. They did have a 3-month promotional going on. I don't know if it's still there, but you can get the audio book for free. Yeah, okay. I still do recommend the written book. I started with the audio book, but then I was like, I really want to highlight that, or I want to take a note. Of course, you can't do that, so I wound up ordering it.
Yeah, I ordered the book. I either do Kindle or book, and I decided to do book on this one.
I like books. I sniff them. I write in them.
And you will have a report. Kind of, it's just 3 questions that you have to answer for each chapter. That's your book report. It's in the assignment workbook, which I'll show you. Okay. And I just have a schedule here. It's just to ensure that you get done by the last mentoring session. Because if you're done everything by the last mentoring session, your homework, your book report, obviously all your mentoring and your course credits, then you're ready to go do the ICF part. So I kind of timed it out that way. You don't have to exactly follow this, but if you want to get done on time, this is the schedule to follow. You can also download a visual. Once you get the book, you'll see she talks about 83 mindset shifts, and you can download the PDF of them here. It's pretty cool. I like it. I printed it out, have it on my board. And then this is your assignment workbook and checklist. So actually, I think it's going to make me download, is it? Oh, it's not. Okay, great. So you can download or print this off the checklist. Again, you don't have to do these in any certain time frame, but if you're done them by your final one-on-one mentoring, then you're done with all the requirements of the course, basically. So that's just a checklist to kind of keep you on track. And you can, again, you don't have to do them in order. Some of them don't pertain specifically to like having to have the chapter information. It just kind of correlates with the topic of the chapter. And some of it is based on your business or your personal goals as well. So it kind of plays into it. So that's the checklist. And then the actual workbook is here. There's a lot of pages to this workbook, but don't let it scare you. Put your name, your cohort number is 4, cohort start date is today. And basically it's a fillable PDF, so you can do it right in here. You don't need to do anything outside of this document. And I will go to the book report. I'm not going to go over all these assignments. We'll go over them each class. We'll tell you what the assignment is for that class. but I do want to show you the book report. So you should be doing that basically on your own. So here's it's towards the end. And basically you're going to answer 3 questions for each chapter. What have I learned from this chapter? What will I experiment with in my coaching as a result of this learning? What do I hope will be different as a result of these experiments? And that's all you're answering for each chapter.
And if you fill that out in a PDF, does it automatically save or like?
Yeah, I mean, you have to,
identify-
like, you can type and then save it to your computer.
So every time you make a change, you have to save it to your
Save.
computer again?
You just have to hit save. Once it's on your computer, it should just save it to that same spot.
Okay. Yeah, I'll play. I haven't done one of those, so yeah.
Okay, and then these are not, I don't have the available time yet, but I will by the end of the week. Once I do, you're going to schedule your one-on-one mentoring sessions with this link, and the availability times will coincide with these weeks. Your mentor week 1, your mentor week 2. You won't schedule the 3rd one until the end of the course. So that's that. Okay, so questions on any of that so far? All right. So that's under the farm announcements. And then we're going to look at, so anytime that you have questions or anything that I might want to, give you a heads up about, or, something for you to pay attention to or something like that, I'll do a new post. You'll automatically get notified. You'll do the same. You'll post here and I'll get notified. It's much easier, and then it helps to answer questions for everybody versus if you email me. I mean, you can email me, it's not a big deal. But if you put it here, then everybody sees it in case they have the same questions. And it allows me to answer them. It allows Jess, my assistant, to answer certain questions she can answer. She's usually quicker than me. So you might want to put them there just for that reason. But anyway. And then these are the documents that you will use throughout the course. So you can just download these, put them in a folder on your computer, and then as each class comes up that we need them, you can just pull it out of that folder. And there's 10 documents that you want to have. So you just go through them and download them. Now you don't have to actually I should take this off because the other one is the fillable. I don't think this one is this is not a workbook. So use the other one that's linked up top. And then this is basically the same as what you have in the announcements. If you use that link to put it into your calendar, then you don't need to do anything here. But if you wanted to, you could log into your UpCoach and you can click right on here. It will take you to this Zoom. Or you can just click it from your calendar, either or. And then I think that's it. So questions about this section, this program section?
I'm not sure what documents we're supposed to have. And I downloaded stuff from here earlier today and then noticed that you had done updated versions and I had already printed them. So I don't know if the ones I got today are up to date or not. And
yeah, anything that was on here is fine. They're all the same.
Okay, so I'll just have to go through and compare the titles because I don't know that I got the code of ethics.
Okay. Yeah,
okay,
so
I'll that on my own time. I'll figure that out.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw the minimum for ACC and MCC. I didn't see PCC.
The PCC markers should have been in there, but let's see.
Oh, that was only 6 of 10, so maybe they're.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I don't have them here. Well, we're using the PCC markers, so I'll just email them to you guys and then also post it. I don't know why that's not there. I will say that this feedback form has them on there. If you look at that feedback form, all the markers are there. But yeah, I'll send that out to you. Okay, so now when you're ready to go into the course, you'll just come in here and you'll just click this and you'll hit start. And then that brings us here into all the modules. You'll start the lesson. That's just you don't need to listen to that.
Wait,
And
so this is in addition to, is this what we have to do before we get on the phone for that I'm confused.
yeah, so this is the actual materials. So this is your chapters.
Okay,
So you'll come in here and you'll actually read through the chapters before each class. But we'll go over it obviously in the class as well.
okay,
So at the top here, it tells you what the chapter is and the title of the chapter. It tells you the main things that we're going to cover in that chapter. And then you can just download the material here. And then the supplements. So those documents that are out into the drive that we just looked at, those 10 documents, these are part of that.
okay.
That's where I was getting confused. These are the ones I downloaded today.
Yeah, that's fine. They're the same, but they're just all out at the drive. So it's all in one place. This just shows you what goes with each lesson, but you can download them from here as well. It doesn't matter.
That makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so, go ahead.
You don't have to download the assignments because they're all in the workbook. This is, again, just to let you know what goes with each lesson.
Okay, so just help me, my brain understand this. So this week is introduction, and so, and then Wednesday's class 1?
No, this is class 1, introduction to coaching.
Okay, and so before Wednesday, I should have gone through class 2 before our class on Wednesday.
Yeah, the ethical grounding and coaching.
Pardon me? Yes. Okay.
Ethical grounding and coaching is chapter 2.
So the week I am remote, I can get these and download them ahead of time so that by the time I get to the library to get to class. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, it tells you to mark it and start it. I don't care. You can access whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, so we're gonna be in the cabin and I called the local library 20 miles away and they have a room so that I can go in to take the class.
Good. Awesome.
So yeah, because we have no internet in our cabin.
I don't know. I don't know if I can disconnect that much. When we
Well,
say we're going to disconnect, we put a time frame on how much, if any.
My phone does work at the cabin, Verizon does, but I keep it in airplane mode, but I don't think it's enough to I'm gonna try to see if I can tether it to a Zoom so I don't have to drive into
Yeah.
town, but yeah. And
Okay.
none of the neighbors have it. It's like, I need some place to go.
Well, that's good that it's not too far too.
Yeah, except the first mile and a half is a scary drive, but yes.
Oh.
I'm gonna make Chris drive me out and hike back in.
All right. So again, that's how you kind of read it, right? So there's your chapter. You download the chapter. Here's the supplements that go with that chapter. And then again, the assignments, don't download the assignments. It's just there to let you know what goes with that class. Because it's all in the workbook, all together in one place.
And about how long does each class take to read through?
Well, there's only like 8 to 10 pages. So
Well, I'm trying to figure out, I want to block out time the more before class. So like if I blocked out for an hour before the class.
oh yeah,
so-
that'd be plenty.
Yeah, so just at 2 o'clock, that way it's time blocked, right? So at 2
Yeah.
o'clock, I know
Yeah,
that.
1 hour would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, and then when you want to go to the next lesson, you have to mark this one as complete. And again, you can go to the next one and download for Wednesday, the chapter 2. And these are the things that we will look at, the supplements that we'll look at. So this is the portal. Any questions how to access things?
Nope.
All right. So let's just take a minute and do some introductions since we didn't do that yet. So just, who you are, where you're calling from, what you do, and what the goal is of taking the course. Right, awesome.
So I'm Allison Arnoff. I'm based now in Long Beach, California. I know Cheryl through the World Business and Executive Coaching Summit, and she helped me get my ACC credential, and now she's helping me get my PCC credential. So I'm just finishing my hours for that. So the goal here was, well, it's funny, it was just great timing because I have 2 new clients at my new corporate gig that don't have women who need to help with emotional intelligence. So this is like perfect timing. And I just needed my last training hours for my PCC. So this was a great opportunity to do everything together. I do primarily leadership and executive coaching in the tech industry for men and women. I spent 30 years in the tech industry. Actually used to be an engineer and a bunch of other things. And I've been got my 2020. I got my ACC. I had to stop coaching for a while. Cheryl knows why. And now I'm working towards my PCC.
Awesome. Thank you. Bonnie?
Okay, so I'm coming from Yakima, Washington, hoping to move out of here in the next, well, any day. I would love to go any day. I've been a counselor and a teacher for probably 15 years. And I know about Cheryl through another friend who is also doing the emotional intelligence course. And so I'm taking it for 2 reasons. Number one, after I'm ending a marriage, and after you do that, you need to spend some time with a therapist. But being a therapist, I intimidate therapists. So I decided that coaching would be the way to go, and emotional intelligence coaching in particular. So I'm taking it for me, but also to switch from counseling into coaching because after 15 years of doing this and listening to hard stories and people telling their stories for years on end, I felt like Rent-A-Friend, and I decided that coaching would be a more action-oriented way to go, and that they can start to take ownership of their stuff and instead of acting like this little bird that's waiting for me to pour stuff down their throat, which we're not trained to do anyway. It's actually more of a coaching model than people realize. And so counselors are crossing boundaries all the time. And so I decided to make it official and put up a barbed wire fence to stay on that side of it and stay in coaching and stay out of therapy. And I just think that coaching is a more effective model. So probably in the life mastery domain, probably in the self-psychology domain, I don't know yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that'll take us some time, I think, to figure that out, at least throughout the course. Yeah. All right, awesome. And I'm Cheryl Thacker, and I'm your instructor. I've been coaching for 15 years. I am PCC credentialed, hopefully be MCC credentialed in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We'll see. And MCC is the highest credential. It goes ACC, PCC, MCC. I was also the training director at a different school for 15 years, and decided this year that it was time for me to do what I do. And so I created this course, and I'm excited about it. I love emotional intelligence. I've been certified in emotional intelligence for quite a few years. Through this course, you're actually going to take the EQI 2.0 assessment, which is the assessment that I am certified in. And then we will have, later on in the course, we'll have a debrief session, but you'll get the results of that. Then we'll debrief it, and we'll come up with like a plan to kind of enhance the areas that might need some work, and then also to keep up with the areas that you're strong in, and how you can apply that strength, the areas that you're strong in, how you can apply that in your coaching or your emotional intelligence in general, or leadership or therapy or what have you. It doesn't matter. Emotional intelligence is applicable to anything, personal and business, really, just human in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Are we going to be trained in the assessment as well here, or is that separate?
now the assessment, you actually have to, that's a whole different thing to get certified, to certify others in the assessment. And it's closed. So I can't even, I don't know when it's going to reopen, but they only allow a certain amount of practitioners. But you do get an emotional intelligence certification because you're learning how to use those skills from that assessment in your coaching. But yeah, you won't get the, once they open those up and I'm able to, I will either add it to the course or just create a different thing, like come get your, come get certified in the actual assessment.
Yeah, I can see that being really good to offer as an upsell in my.
Yeah, definitely. Coaches, I have coaches come in and get the assessment. And then we do 3 to 5 sessions depending on how to improve, and they want to be able to give the assessment. And yeah, it definitely would be, and they're not able to. So
Yeah,
Same
I mean, yeah,
thing
just,
with you. There's all kinds of assessments and tests in therapy as well, and you have to pay and become uniquely certified in each of them. So
yeah. And there is other ones that you could, like, you could go through them directly and do it on your own. Well, not them directly, to the current people that are licensed to do it. They're just not giving any new people. That's the whole thing. It's like they only give certain amount. So if you are interested in that, the person that I would send you to is the person that trained me. So and I'd have to get his information, but I would definitely, if you want to do that, I can get that information over to you.
well, what's different between doing that and just waiting for you to do it?
Nothing.
Okay, well, then I'll wait for you. I'm not, yeah, I mean, like, I have my private clients and the corporate clients, I'm realizing they're performance rock stars with interpersonal skill problems. Right, so, that's kind of like been the persona of, and two of my clients for now, they literally hired me because they said both these women don't have any emotional intelligence.
I mean, it's nice that people recognize it.
Yeah, and so, yeah, so this is, when you try to differentiate yourself from the sea of coaches out there, right? Because I'm not a big fan of DISC and all those things, because to be honest, I think I'm powerful enough to tell what they are from paying attention and don't need an assessment for that, but emotional intelligence, I know I have some gaps in that. So it would be great to, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I would be interested, so just put me on the list for when you get that,
I will definitely.
yeah.
I'm putting you on a piece of paper right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I see all your announcements, so I'll know when it's available, but if you have a finite number, I want to make sure I don't, yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
You as well, Bonnie?
Yeah. Because I can see a nice module product offering around it. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm creating a leadership gap assessment for a lot of, my private clients are people who just got like promoted within the last year and they're trying to close that leadership gap. And so, it'd be nice to have an emotional intelligence component of it too, so yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about level 1 program, which is what this program is. And basically, level 1, the ICF came back and said, we're going to change how we do everything. And so they created this level 1 program, which means you get everything within the program except for the final written exam. So you get your training hours, which are 65 for this course. You get your mentor hours, which is 10 hours. You also get your performance evaluation, which I score. So I do the actual assessment of your final performance recording. Typically, you would do that through the ICF, and it takes 3 to 4 months. So you don't need to do that at this point at the ACC level.
Okay.
Yours is different.
Yeah.
Because I would have to be a level 2 school, and I'm not a level 2 school. So level 2 takes you through the PCC. They do the recordings, and then you just go take the final exam. So you're gonna have to. You would have to do portfolio anyway because you have a mixture of education. So I'm gonna walk you through at the end your last one-on-one on how to do your portfolio application. But we'll get you 2 recordings during this course that I feel are going to be passable. And then Bonnie, for you, it's using those the final performance evaluation in the last class 15. We do the final performance evaluation. That will be the one that we will count as your performance, and so as long as it passes, you're fine. If it doesn't pass, you still have other opportunity to have another recording, and you're doing 3 recordings total throughout the course anyway. So,
And then what about prepping for the written test? Because I know it's changed.
yeah, so we're gonna prep. We're gonna do some prep in the class 15. So you're gonna do your final performance evaluations. You're gonna actually go. We're gonna meet here. You're gonna go out. You both are gonna record with each other, and then you'll submit those to me, and then you'll come back to the class, and then we'll go over the final exam. Because yes, it's changed. It's now 80 questions, 2 answers for each question. And they actually set up a nice practice portal for mentor coaches. So I get to walk you through the, and then in your final 101, if you still have questions about it, we can go over them again. So yeah, it should be fine that way. Okay. Questions?
At the end of this course, then we have 2 certifications though, right? A CPC and an EQCC.
Right.
Okay.
So you didn't have a CPC, right?
No, when I went, I would have gotten a CPCC at CTI, but I didn't think I didn't need to give them $5,000 more. So I went straight to ACC.
Yeah, so you'll get the CPC now.
Yeah.
You'll have the EQCC. So you both get the certified professional coach and emotional intelligence certified coach. So you get 2 certifications from this one.
Cool. That'd be nice.
Okay. Which will be easier for you, I think, because it was like when we were looking at everything when you were going for your ACC, we're like, okay, there's no real CPC here. How many hours is this? How many hours is that counting towards? This is going to be straightforward.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I took the breakthrough coaching. I have all my WBEX. I have my CTI still,
Yeah.
So I didn't need this many hours, but I wanted this content. So it was like, this was, and it's you, and I get to do it all together, and you helped me so it made sense.
Yeah.
It's a little more.
I think you only need 45 hours in between.
Yeah.
So Bonnie, when you go to renew, after you get your ACC, you go to renew, you would need 45 hours.
Remember, my ACC is now expired. I did not keep it current, so I am.
Oh, so you're starting all over. That's right.
Yeah. So
I'm completely lost in all these letters.
I know. So, okay. So the ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation, is our overseeing body. And you get the certifications at the school level, and then you get the credential at the ICF level. Now, they have 3 different credentials. They have the ACC, which is the Associate Certified Coach. They have the PCC, which is the Professional Certified Coach. And they have the MCC, which is the Master Certified Coach. Each level has different requirements, and we're going to go over that in our first mentoring class, so I won't do that now. But each level has different requirements, and these level 1 programs are meant to fulfill the ACC requirements, except for the written exam, which you have to get from them.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of acronyms. Yeah. Okay. So, with that, I think what we'll do now is look at our chapter. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me just check my checklist here. I did go over that. Okay, so there is peer coaching required, so you are going to coach each other outside of the class. The other thing is that I have other people that will stand in and you can coach them. So you don't have to, I'll have a schedule. So you don't have to coach just each other throughout the whole class, because you have to do 7 peer coaching sessions. So I will create a schedule that will start next week for you to coach outside of class, next week or the week after, and I will post them when they're ready. So you're going to be coaching each other, but you're also going to be coaching your other instructors. There's 2 other instructors that come in and out through the course. I come in and out throughout the course as well. So you get to see 3 different styles of coaching, and 3 different styles of instructing as well. And then our feedback, you'll get written feedback from your coaching sessions. So you'll get some from me, you'll get some from them as well. So I will have that schedule ready for you when we're getting ready to start the peer coaching. That is a requirement. It's part of your hours. And so what I would like you to do is to come up with 15 topics that you would like to be coached on. You probably don't need the 15, but just to be safe, just spend some time and just make a list of 15 topics. It could be business related, personal related, relationship, organizational, business. It doesn't matter. Just 15 topics, so that you're not searching for a topic when you get into the coaching session. That 15 would cover the in-class ones as well as the peer ones that you do outside of class. I will be posting your email addresses on that drive, so you 2 can email each other as well to set up those peer coaching sessions. Then the only other thing was that you automatically get put into the Coaches Launch Lab in the Facebook group. So if you haven't gotten those yet, they come out this week, the first week. The Coaches Launch Lab is my membership. You get access to it for 6 months after this course ends. So it winds up being a year. Don't worry about that stuff while you're going through the course, because you don't want to get overwhelmed. But it has all the foundational pieces of setting up business and launching for the Coaches Launch Lab. And then the Facebook group is, of course, just a place for us to hang out as fellow grads of the program and students of the program. I think that was it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And we are on chapter 1. This is big enough. Can you see it clearly?
Mm-hmm.
So this course introduces you to the process and principles of coaching, and it aligns with the ICF core competencies and the code of ethics. And it's centered around our philosophy of empowering change and growth, and emotional intelligence is the backbone of that. So the things that we really want to look at focusing in on are ethical grounding. So we start with a commitment to the ICF code of ethics, which talks about maintaining confidentiality, professionalism, and respect. Our coaches are dedicated to ongoing personal development to uphold and exceed ethical standards. Developing a coaching mindset, that means dedicating time and energy to personal growth and the continuous pursuit of learning, which you're doing here, which is awesome. And we encourage you to engage in reflective practice, enhancing the quality and the depth of each coaching session that you have. You're going to get immediate feedback on your coaching for you to apply in your future sessions. We cover agreement structuring, basically clear communication of roles and responsibilities. Each coaching agreement is personalized, so we incorporate the client's vision and objectives for each session. And you're going to get, it's already uploaded there, but you actually get some templates that you can use that will help you with structuring different agreements and onboarding clients. Trust, safety, and rapport building. So we prioritize creating a secure environment and a safe environment for our clients that allows for open and honest dialogue. And then through consistent and empathetic engagement, we deepen trust and build a strong rapport with clients. We focus in on enhancing presence. Through the training, you become fully present. You're able to give undivided attention to your clients' verbal and nonverbal communication. And we talk about the difference between them and how to pick up on those things. We want to balance engagement with being receptive for, responsive coaching experience for our clients. Because although we have a structure that we probably will follow as far as like what we offer in our coaching, we also want to give some flexibility to clients that maybe need to take it a little bit step further, or maybe even to take a step back. We focus in on active listening and reflection, basically understanding the context and underlying emotions, and then reflecting and summarizing to ensure clarity with the client, and then awareness generation. So helping the client to uncover new insights, challenging any limiting beliefs, promoting self-discovery and learning, and then questions and techniques are used to facilitate the exploration and the awareness. Growth support, so you're going to learn the SCE model, which is one that allows us to empower clients to turn their insights into action and supporting them to achieving both personal and professional milestones. And the accountability structure that we put in place is to help clients navigate challenges and stay on track. And then contextual understanding, so just being able to look at the client's unique background and their external factors to helping tailoring the coaching experience to them. And then that comprehensive understanding allows us to make sure that our coaching process is relevant and effective to each client. And then, of course, emotional intelligence. It really is woven into each core competency. It's woven into each interaction with our clients, and it allows for a deeper connection and understanding between the coach and the client. And it allows you to use the emotional intelligence coaching skills that you'll learn to adapt to the client's emotional needs, demonstrating empathy and flexibility, as well as all the other competencies. So this framework allows us to build a foundation of coaching and the practice that we're going to build. And it allows you to be flexible, but also, in kind of honoring the individuality of each client while having high professional standards. This is one of the things that I'm passionate about, is having high standards for our coaching, because I have seen so many instances where there isn't high professional standards, and I see that clients get the worst end of that, right? Like they're the ones that suffer when the coaches are not professional and when they don't have their own internal standards. And so that's what we help to create as well. So as you go through the course, you're going to learn how to apply these principles and emotional intelligence to facilitate those meaningful and transformative coaching experience. Okay, so what is coaching? ICF defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. The process of coaching often unlocks previously untapped sources of imagination, productivity, and leadership. It's an individualized and empowering process that can help people who want to learn, develop, and grow, both personally and professionally, nurturing rapid growth and help bring about sustainable change in individuals and organizations. Great thing about coaching is you can use it with individuals, you can use it with groups, organizations, teams, anywhere from a blue-collar worker all the way up to CEO suite, executives, what have you. Coaching can benefit each stage. We believe that clients know what's best for themselves, and we help empower them to make their own decisions. People are much more invested when they make choices for themselves versus being told what to do. And that's the power of coaching, is that we help them come up with their own answers. We help them to choose their actions and their goals and their outcomes. And then the impact of coaching, the evidence of the impact of coaching is really huge. 80% of people who receive coaching report increased self-confidence. Over 70% benefit from improved work performance, relationships, and more effective communication skills. And 86% of companies report that they recoup their investment on coaching and more. Other benefits include 90% increase in social connections, stress management, 77% improvement in mental health and mental fitness, and a 35% reduction in burnout. So the personal benefits of coaching: establishing and set and act towards achieving goals, become more self-reliant, increase self-confidence, develop self-awareness around strengths and motivation, gain more job and life satisfaction, and take greater responsibility and accountability for actions and commitments, and communicate more effectively. The benefits of coaching in organizations is it empowers individuals and encourages them to take responsibility, increases employee and staff engagement, improves individual performances, helps identify and develop high potential employees, helps identify both organizational and individual strengths and development opportunities, helps to motivate and empower individuals to excel, and demonstrates organizational commitment to human resource development. So lots of pluses to coaching. So what is coaching or what coaching is not? It's not therapy, mentoring, or consulting. And this just goes over the differences. Basically, again, we believe the client knows what's best for themselves and we help them to make their own decisions. Therapy often deals with past issues and mental health concerns. Therapists diagnose and treat psychological disorders. Consulting means that you're an expert in your specific field and you analyze problems, you offer solutions, you give direct advice and expertise. Mentoring is guidance and advice based on your own experience and expertise, and basically sharing your personal knowledge and skills to support somebody else's development. And I won't go through these, like who's coaching for. You can read through some of this. I'm not going to read through everything. Who is coaching not for? Basically, we're looking at, who wouldn't be a good candidate for coaching. And some people are not coachable, and they're not going to be good candidates for coaching. And those are the people that, a couple things. Number one, they have mental health issues. And so we're going to talk more about that on Wednesday. And so they really need a mental health professional, whether that's a therapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, or what have you. Coaching is also not for people that want answers, right? They're not for people that, it's not for people that need to be, given a plan on how to do something or need to be given a step-by-step roadmap or anything like that. That's what consultants are for. So we're not, if that's what they need, then we're not the people for them as coaches. So you can kind of read through that. Coaching skills. This is basically what forms the foundation of coaching, and focusing on both the coach-client relationship and the effective advancements of the client's goal. And so these are basically the core competencies. Establishing ethical guidelines and professional standards, creating coaching agreements, establishing trust and intimacy, coaching presence, active listening, powerful questioning, direct communication, creating awareness, designing actions, planning and goal setting, managing progress and accountability. That's what the ones I just said make up these 8 core competencies. And that's what the ICF gives us, is 8 core competencies. It used to be 11. They've changed it to 8. Much more robust, I think, than new ones. So how do we deliver coaching? We deliver it with a framework or a coaching model. And basically, it's a loose framework, a loose structure that we can incorporate into our coaching to be able to conduct a successful session so the client can get progress out of the session. It's just a little bit of a guide, a little bit of a structure, but the client leads the sessions. We don't lead the coaching sessions. So we use a coaching model to deliver the coaching, but the client can move around in that model however they want. They don't have to follow our order. They don't have to follow a structure. There is a structure or an order that creates a good flow, but again, the client can change that. So it has to be flexible. It has to, fit the coach's or the client's unique situation. It supports the client and moves at a pace that they want to move in, goes in the direction that they want to go in. And the coaching process kind of unfolds naturally with using a coaching model. But again, we have to make sure that the client is the one leading it. It also maintains a supportive environment, allows us to, allows the client to direct their own journey, and it gives us that framework to help them do. So we have our coaching standards, and they're just basically designed to facilitate transformation and unlock the potential within each client. And again, I'm not going to read through these, but you can read through them, and please do. But basically, we're looking at upholding ICF Code of Ethics. We're looking at creating the talent or the skill of core competencies and delivering that to the clients, that we have clear agreements, that we're creating trust, safety, and rapport building, that we're helping them to become aware, clients to become aware of what they need to do and what their goals are and what their own emotions are. And we're helping them to grow, and definitely the emotional intelligence piece. And then we're going to look at, you can read through this as well, but we're going to look at the coaching model and framework. So how our model works, the SCE coaching model, is we set the stage with clear agreements and ethical practices, and we build a strong rapport. And then we promote deep questioning and reflection to uncover new insights. We support clients in translating these insights into concrete, actionable steps. And we respect the client's uniqueness and honor it in all our actions. So the pieces of our coaching model is that we set the stage, we review goals and progress, we structure the agreement, we have engagement and exploration, active listening and reflection, awareness generation, challenging and encouraging, action planning, support client growth, and closing the session. And we have this in a separate document. There's this SCE coaching framework. I actually encourage you to download it and have it with you. And this is what we're going to base our coaching sessions on. And this takes those core competencies and our framework and the goals of this course, of what we are trying to instill, and puts it all together. So it gives you, again, some suggestions. Once you are comfortable, you'll put your own questions in here, your own words that support each stage of the coaching sessions. But if you look at like setting the stage, this is where we come into our sessions and we're kind of greeting the client and, asking them how they are, getting a feel for if they're ready for their session for today. So something like, thanks for being here today. How are you feeling? Are you ready to get started? We want to, no, I actually, this is the wrong one. So it shouldn't say reiterate confidentiality. We're not going to do that anymore. That is actually something that the ICF has come back and said we're not going to do on our sessions anymore. That confidentiality is something that you talk about in your consults. And again, that's something that we'll go over on Wednesday's class. But in your individual sessions, the only thing that we're going to talk about is that it's a judgment-free zone, or it's a safe zone, or it's a, you want to just do something that kind of can make the client at ease at the beginning of the session. So what I usually say is, I want to remind you that our session takes place in a judgment-free zone. That's what I say. You can say something similar. And then also letting them know that you do take notes. And I just, again, made a suggestion. I'm saying I'm happy to share those notes with you if you'd like it. But you want to just let them know if you're going to take notes. Now, if you're not going to take notes, that's fine. But most coaches take notes that I know of, even if it's just bullet points. And then you want to review goals and progress from your previous session. We won't be doing that in this class, but with your coaching clients, you can do that. So you can say, last session you agreed to do such and such. How did you make out with that commitment? And if they followed through, then have they celebrated that? If they haven't, then what are the obstacles that got in the way? Then we want to structure the agreement. So we want to use open-ended questions. What would you like to focus in on today's session? What specifically would you like to walk away with at the end of the session? We want to apply active listening and reflective techniques to deepen the understanding. So what I hear you saying is you would like to focus on such and such. And at the end, you would like to have such and such. Is that correct? We also want to check in with the importance of that. I know I'm going over this quickly. We're going to listen to an example shortly. And so you're going to see this in action. But we want to be able to reflect back what we're hearing is the coaching agreement and get confirmation. And then we want to check in on what the meaning is of that. Why is it important to them now to get that done? Or, what is the purpose now? Why is this coming up for them now? And then what will happen once they complete, get to that end result that they've asked for? So we talk about their topic, what they want to talk about, what do they want to have by the end of the session, what are they tangible do they want to walk away with, and then why, without saying why. But what is their why? Why is that important to them now? And then again, just some example questions. What's the current situation? What have you tried so far? How has that impacted you? What's worked for you in the past? So just some example questions. Challenging any limiting beliefs. What belief do you hold that might be stopping you from moving forward? How can we explore a different way of looking at the situation? Some ways to generate awareness. What new insights have you gained about the situation? How can you look at this differently? What might be another explanation or perspective on this issue? Challenging and encouraging. So, like, what one step could you take that feels a bit outside of your comfort zone? How can you approach this differently? How can I support you as you take on this new challenge? When we move to action planning, what specific actions will you commit to? What is the next one or the first one or whatever the case is? When you want to have them completed by, and how will you ensure your progress on these actions? And then supporting client growth. So what obstacles do you feel could get in the way? How can you overcome them? How can we create a system of accountability that works for you? And then closing the session, how do you feel about the progress we've made? Do you feel like we've been successful today? What's your biggest takeaway? And you might even ask for feedback on the session. What feedback do you have about today's session? What can we potentially improve for next time? It's a possibility as well. Okay, so we'll come back to this if we have time, but you can do this on your own. There's some throughout the chapters. There's some reflection exercises and sample, what are they called? Situations for you to answer some questions on. So you can do that as part of the chapter work. It's not homework, but it will help you to apply what you've learned in the chapter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a break. And then when we come back from the break, we are going to listen to a coaching session. And I'm going to actually show you the form that we're going to use throughout the course that that generates the feedback for the coaching session. So you'll be able to see the PCC markers and how we're going to score the sessions as we go throughout the course. And it also helps you, obviously, to learn what those PCC markers are and how to apply them in the coaching sessions. So we are going to take 15 minutes. We're going to take like 13 minutes. So it's 7:07. We want to go to
20 after.
20 after. I will see you back at 20 after.
Okay.
All right.
So tell me how many minutes? 10 minutes?
Now it's
I have 4:09. That's why
Okay.
I'm saying how many minutes, because I can't, my brain won't bend that way.
11 minutes it is now, I guess, if it's 09.
All right.
7:20 or whatever it is, 20 after for you guys.
Something 20. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Um,
Good boy.
all right. So if you pull up the feedback form,
For me, what do you want us to do?
yeah, if you download the feedback form, the markers. I'm gonna pull it up because for some reason blanking on the name. But it is the feedback form for the PCC markers. That's what we're gonna look at.
Is that in, I thought you didn't have it up there.
The PCC markers wasn't up there by itself, but the feedback form is.
Okay, hold on.
Is that,
So go to files.
Yeah.
No files available. Smart,
I have
Are
like
you in
3.
the drive?
okay.
You want to go to the drive.
There it is. Okay.
I can't get in.
It says no files available.
I can't even start my course. What the heck? I was in there earlier today.
My drive is empty.
I don't understand.
What's the recordings? Okay, so then drive. I have 3 things in my drive. I have the coaching module and framework, the ICF core competencies, and the chapter 1.
Okay, that's really weird. Because I can see them all.
Yeah, your
Okay.
script looks different.
Yeah. All right, I will check on that with it should be, the drive should be available to everybody. Oh, anyway, I'll have to check that tonight after class, but let me see if I can just put it through on the.
Because even under class 1, where it has the introduction to coaching, the supplements, and the assignments, I'm not seeing it there either.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay.
And then you can.
Where's the chat now?
It'll be on in the Zoom. She's gonna put it in the Zoom. On the bottom bar should see chat.
There we go.
And so she's gonna put it there. It's not there yet.
Okay.
There it is.
I am just not up on all of this tech. I used to be.
Okay, it's now in your folder for this.
So that's what if you look at that form,
Okay.
you can see on the left-hand side, it starts with PCC marker 3. PCC marker 1 and 2 are not assessed. So we don't really pay too much attention to that. We will review it on the next class. We don't really pay too much attention. So, and then you'll see the points under each one. So 3 is establish and maintains agreements, and then it has focus and outcome, measures of success, importance in meeting, needs to address. 4 cultivates trust and safety, and the PCC markers are acknowledges talents, insight, and work, supports empathy and concern, acknowledges expression, invites to respond and accept. 5 is maintains presence, so coaching the person, coaching the agenda, invites client's choice, curious about client, and silence and pause. 8 is listens actively, or 6, sorry, is it? Should be able to see. Listens actively, so customize your language, explores words, explores emotions, explores energy shifts, explores perceptions, beliefs, and assumptions. No interruptions, and succinct summary. 7 is evokes awareness, so questions about current situation, questions expanding on the who, questions expanding the topic or the what, questions expanding the outcome, shares and explores, open-ended questions, concise language, client talks more than the coach. There's an 80-20 rule there. Competency 8 is facilitates client growth, so we explore progress, new learning for themselves, new learning for our focus, applying the new learning, post-session activities, resources.
What's the difference between 8.2 and 8.3?
The client states what they've learned for 8.3. And
Looks like one says who and one says what.
yeah, so the 8.2 is new learning for the self. So what did they learn about themselves, the who of themselves? And then 3 is the new learning of the what did they about their topic, like what's the tangible thing from the that they have new learning. Then post-session activities, resources or barriers, so obstacles, accountability, celebrate or champion, and then partners with the client to close. So we're going to focus in on these competencies. It's the competency and each marker under it. Typically, at an ACC level, we want a score of 23. At a PCC level, we want a score of 27. I'll talk about scores later. We're not going to worry about that now. But kind of just glance at this while you're listening to this sample session. This sample session is at a PCC level. This course, we focus on PCC markers. And by the end, you really do have the ability to coach at a PCC level. But you only have to pass at an ACC level because it's it's a level 1 program. So for Bonnie, you can pass at the ACC level. But the whole thing was I didn't want to teach at an ACC level just for you to go out and have to wait to take another course to learn, the level 2, the PCC side of it. You can work towards your coaching hours that you need to get to a PCC level and still coach at a PCC level with this course. And that was my goal. And everybody kind of liked it so far. So hopefully you guys do too. So I'm going to share. All right. Let me know if you can't hear this when I hit play.
Use. So what would you like to focus on that would be of value to you?
Near it?
I really could use some help with my golf game. I think I'd like to focus on that.
And what about your golf game would you like to address?
Well, my consistency, my reactions to poor shots. I think I've been having so many inconsistencies with my golf game. It started like a few rounds ago. I can't seem to get out of this slump. I'm not consistently hitting the ball cleanly, and my play is really just all over the place. I can never string together 2 or 3 good games at a time, and it's really frustrating. It's just one good game, a couple of bad games, a couple of bad games, and then like one good game. There's just no consistency there. Sometimes I shoot great scores. Sometimes I shoot bad scores. It's really beginning to bother me. I just want some help with regard to like what's going on with my game and trying to bring some consistency to figure out ways to handle my bad shots like in a better way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And so what specific goal would you like to achieve by the end of today's session?
Well, I think really kind of gain some clarity about what's getting in the way of my game, and maybe learn some strategies that I can try on and implement, to better manage, like the negative emotions that arise, so I can maintain like just some semblance of consistency in my game. Help me from preventing mistakes from taking me further away from the game. I just want to learn some ways I can continue to enjoy playing, regardless of how the round is going or how high my score is. Shooting a bad round shouldn't affect me wanting to go out.
Okay, and how will we know you've accomplished what you set out to by the end of today's call?
Well, hopefully what we come up with, some ideas that I can grasp some tangible results, or some things that I could count on when I'm in those moments when my game is like going down the rabbit hole. I think it's just important to know that there's something that I could do, whatever it may be, that will bring me back to focus and bring me back to having fun and just shooting good shots, at the same time. Just want some consistency.
And why is playing consistently important for you?
Well, shooting lower scores for one. I'm not out there to just lose all the time. Not making a fool out of myself out there. I played in some tournaments with some partners. It's good to know that they can count on me. It'd be really good to know that they can count on me. So just making sure I'm consistent, being able to bring this person and know that this person is going to show up consistently. Once I hit a poor shot, it's like a spiral. It goes down fast. I start playing poorly, my confidence gets shaken, and then I start to think, I freaking suck at golf. My friends have noticed how I'm reacting, and that's they've been hesitant to invite me out, to be honest. Not only because of my poor play lately, but just because of my reactions. I'm just not really fun to play with right now.
And that makes sense. You want to play better and more consistently. And so what I'm hearing is that not only does the inconsistency impact your play and your enjoyment of the game, but also your relationships. And sounds like it's like a domino effect, like where once one domino falls, the others fall quickly. So what comes up for you when I say that?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I think that's it. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like a rabbit hole. When I'm down that rabbit hole, I fall fast and it's hard to come back. That just doesn't seem to be a way that's easy way to get out of it, get back to playing good golf.
Okay, so how are you currently?
Okay, I just want to say that was our coaching agreement. Topic, outcome, why is it important now for him, and how will he know that he's gotten the outcome that he wanted? So there's 4 pieces to the coaching agreement. Your topic, your outcome, how will we know that we've reached that outcome, and why is it important?
Feeling and reacting when you're down this rabbit hole that might, be affecting your consistency?
Yeah, when I'm down that rabbit hole, it's like not hitting good shots. Like I mentioned earlier, I hit one good shot and then a string of bad shots. It can seem I can seem to string together a series of good shots. I start feeling the pressure, and that makes me feel worse because I'm pressing. I start like dwelling on my bad shots. I notice I become tense, frustrated, like angry, and I'm cursing. So I know I'm really beating myself up. Telling myself mean things. I tell myself I suck. It's not worthy. I'm not worthy to be out there. I'm just not having fun lately, and it shows through my reactions. I'm not fun to play with right now. I'll own it. It's just the state of mind that I'm in. So my friends have noticed it too. I just don't know how I'm showing up out there and why I'm showing up there in a bad space.
Okay, it sounds like that you're having a lot of thoughts and emotions going on at the same time. I mean, so it's no wonder that you're losing focus and playing inconsistently. So how do you think focusing on all of these other thoughts and emotions may affect your ability to play consistently?
Yeah, if I hit a bad shot, basically all those things you just mentioned go off in my head. I find it hard to move past it. It's I start reacting emotionally, like throwing my clubs, beating myself up, and yelling at myself aloud. It's just berating myself in public's not a good thing. So it's just taking me totally out of my game. That's when I start to lose focus, and that's where I think the inconsistency comes in. So not only am I shooting high scores, my reactions to poor shots strain my relationship with my golf buddies. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out myself right now. I'm not really bringing much of my full self, my true self, to the game when I'm not doing well. It just kind of suck to be around.
How would it feel to figure out a way to bring more of your true self forward?
Hmm. I feel it would feel good to show up as my true self. I think the way I've been reacting and behaving lately is not really who I am. I'm a really really easygoing guy. I'm a happy person. Uh, I wouldn't be letting a string of negative shots affect me so much. I'd feel good, calm, like cool, calm, and collected. I would be joking around, having fun with my buddies. Yeah, I'd just be having fun. I'd like to show up like that more consistently.
What do you believe the first thing we should address to move you closer to being more consistent and showing up as your true self out there when you're on the golf course?
Well, yeah, just not to put pressure on myself. When I feel a lot of pressure, I lose focus really quickly. I think the pressure causes me to lose focus and causes me to play really inconsistently. Then I start to notice I'm like dwelling on bad shots. I'm like asking myself, like what are you doing? Like I don't feel I belong out there. My game really, really unravels pretty quickly after that. So concentration and focus is like super important. I think that's where I'm lacking. When I lose focus, I feel like pressure to shoot better, and I start to play really poorly, and I don't like how I'm reacting. Like I mentioned before, when I can't hit several good shots in a row, I feel disappointed, frustrated, angry. Um, yeah, my golf game just goes right out the window when that happens.
Okay, another thing I want to point out is that the coach asks the client where they want to go, which direction, what's important for them to cover, right? Putting the power back into the client's hands to lead the session. So he didn't just start with a line of questioning that he thought would make sense. He asked the client where he wanted to go.
So why do you think you put so much pressure on yourself?
I'm a competitor. You know, I want to hit the fairways and greens and sink my putts, maybe get some birdies. You know, I just want to, you know, I don't want to look bad out there. I want to shoot low scores. I want to have fun and shoot low scores and keep up with my friends. That's just who I am. And to be honest, they're pretty serious players. So I think I feel pressure to play well to keep up with them. It's more fun when I play well.
So how do you think this pressure might take away from the fun?
Well, when I start to feel pressure, I start hitting poor shots, especially a few in a row. I think I get in my own head and it takes me out of my game. I start comparing myself to my friends and other golfers. I start wondering, you know, what they may be thinking about how I'm playing. I'm not concentrating on my swing and the approach, you know. That's where I think focus and concentration can help me with like playing more consistently. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a rabbit hole I go down. I'm like yelling at myself, acting out on the course. I'm really embarrassed by my scores and how I'm acting. You know, if things aren't going as well as planned, I'd like to be able to show up as who I really am out there consistently. So yeah, I think if there are some ways like a plan to help me with like the mental aspects of the game, you know, to help me, I think I can play a lot more consistently, you know, feel less pressure, and be able to really show who I am out there as a person.
Okay, suppose you leave here today with that plan. How do you think that would feel for you?
Um, I think it'd feel great. I mean, to be honest, I would feel relief there. Is something I can do to shift and keep myself from going down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I definitely feel hopeful about having a plan that can help me play and show up just more consistently. Yeah.
I applaud your willingness and to take a look at yourself and try to figure out how to do something differently.
Yeah.
So what comes up for you when I say that all we can control is the preparation, effort, attitude, and our reactions?
Yeah. As I think about it, I can see there's quite a bit of things in golf. All I can do is like try to gauge the distance to the hole, like select the right club, you know, focus on my mechanics, and you know, hopefully just prepare for the next shot. You know, of course, in golf, you know, there are a lot of factors: wind, slope, condition of the fairways, greens that are out of my control. Yeah, I can hit a great shot, but if the fairways and greens aren't in good shape, it can affect even a good shot. You know, it's as I think those are the things I can't control, but could still affect the quality. But those things could still affect the quality of my shots.
Okay, so when you think about those factors that are really in your control, how would that help you feel differently about your game?
Well, I mean, if I really think about it, I feel less pressure. I can do everything mechanically right, and due to the conditions, the shots may, you know, go awry or falter. There's nothing I can do to control that, really, honestly. So I guess I feel a sort of an acceptance of what happens, whatever the outcome. Yeah.
And what would being an acceptance look like for you?
Good question. I guess that would mean I would be okay with what happens regardless of whether the outcome was what I wanted or not, I guess.
And how does the thought of being in acceptance feel for you?
I feel less pressure and okay with whatever result there is. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't feel like rattled and angry, upset, or it would. If an outcome wasn't what I wanted, I wouldn't be really that upset. It would really help me move on from that shot and ready to accept the challenge of the next shot, I guess.
So after hearing that, that sounds like that would be put you more in an emotional space. You mentioned seeking. How might being in that acceptance help you with how you react?
Mm. As long as I can say that I did all I could do to hit the best shot, I think I'd be okay with any result. You know, that would help me stay calm, focused, loose, even if I didn't like the shot I hit. I have to admit, I want to hit a good shot. I want to shoot low scores. Um, if that doesn't happen, I, it's fine. I just want to be a better player out there, and I want my people to really enjoy playing with me.
Yeah, so it makes sense that you'd want to see, tangible results in terms of, outcomes like a good shot or low scores.
Yeah.
Are there other aspects of golf, other aspects other than performance that makes golf meaningful for you?
Um, I'm a really technical person. I like the technical aspects of the game. I enjoy like strategizing the approach to the hole, like making sure I choose the right clubs for the conditions. Um, I play on beautiful courses, some having a lot of beautiful views. I love being out there. I'm connecting with friends, networking, and just going out there to have a little fun.
So hearing that, it sounds like you have a genuine passion for the game that goes much, much deeper than how well you're playing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so how might focusing on these other aspects of golf impact how you're feeling and experiencing around, regardless of what's happening?
Well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't be focused on what happened with my shot. I'd be paying attention to the beauty of the course. I'd be feeling grateful to be out playing the game I love. I'd just be out there having fun. I'd be concentrating on my approach, club selection, and I wouldn't be reacting to bad shots.
So when you said that, I'm hearing that shift in focus could really help you with, your reactions and possibly even your concentration. So what comes up for you when I say that?
Yeah, when I think about focusing on the aspects of the game I love, I feel like really a sense of relief, honestly. I feel like I can let go of the pressure. I, yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I can see myself focusing on appreciating the game and feel good about executing good shots, I guess. Yeah, I think this could help with my concentration, my focus, and honestly, the way I've been reacting lately.
So that's sounding like a real powerful shift in perspective. So How does that shift feel for you?
Hmm. It feels better, honestly. Really, I'm actually excited to try it out.
Yeah, that's great to hear that you're excited. And
Hmm.
so earlier you mentioned about some pretty strong reaction to some unwelcomed outcomes of a shot. So say you hit a shot and the outcome isn't what you hoped.
Hmm.
How might you be able to look at errors in a different way that may not have as much impact?
Hmm. Um, well, I think I would be accepting, have more acceptance. Like I mentioned before, I could take the game less seriously, I guess. Hitting a bad shot or like shooting a higher score isn't the end of the world. There's bigger problems in the world, I guess. I could just focus on like having fun. If I hit a bad shot, maybe I could view it as a challenge. I think, maybe I could reframe it or something. I don't know. A challenge that would try and recover, you know, to save the whole. I could remind myself about things that are in my control, my mechanics, my setup, my approach, those things.
And how do these new thoughts feel for you?
Yeah. Um, I think I can feel confident that I can recover from the errors. I feel a little bit more hopeful for sure. I'm calm, composed. I would be feeling less pressure. I would feel, like being present for the current shot, having fun. I'm staying loose. I just don't want to tighten up. I feel like I'm not getting ahead of myself if I just, have more acceptance. I'm just out there. I'd be just out there having fun with my buddies. I think shifting towards these thoughts could really help me stay focused and calm on the course, even if I do hit a bad shot or miss a putt.
Yeah, so those sound like some of the qualities you had mentioned earlier that you had said were closer to your true self when you're out there playing.
Hmm.
So when I say that, how does it resonate for you?
Yeah, I'm looser. Yeah, the lighthearted, relaxed, poised person having fun, like enjoying time with my buddies and not taking myself too seriously is definitely closer to showing up as my true self for sure.
And as you bring up those qualities that are like your true self, how does that feel to be getting closer to that after thinking about, a different way to approach your golf game?
Um, it would feel good to show up more authentically, like like we said, the true self. I think I'd feel more connected to having fun. I wouldn't be showing up like feeling pressured and tense like I have been lately on the course. Um, I'm looking forward to like playing in a more relaxed and carefree manner. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I think I could do that.
So what action do you think you might be willing to take to integrate, this new mindset when you're playing golf and be able to carry that mindset through despite what might be happening out there on the course?
Hmm. Yeah, it's going to take some time. I think I had really gotten into some bad habits. I think routine will help. I can commit to a routine before each shot, maybe. Yeah, so I'm into mindfulness. I think I could take some deep breaths, maybe do like a breath awareness meditation or something, to get myself grounded in that moment. It would help me stay calm, more focused and composed. I think I can let those other thoughts and emotions pass in that case. I could also see like before I take it, I could, just focus on my mechanics and hitting a clean shot. If I notice myself like feeling pressure or stress, I maybe remind myself like I'm out there to have fun. And then maybe focus on my breath to maybe calm down in that moment. I guess if I hit a bad shot, I can try and let it go. Um, yeah, I can see bad shots as chances to use my strategy to get myself out of trouble during the hole, I guess.
Yeah, so this sounds like a solid, routine that could help you stay connected to having fun and being in the moment. Yeah, nice work.
Thanks.
And I believe this plan will definitely can help you carry you through challenges as they arise.
Mhm.
So, what do you think the ideal time frame would be to start this?
Well, I'm excited to try this new process. I think I tried like immediately. Um, yeah, I think the upcoming rounds would be great. I'm excited to try this process and see where it takes me. I think I could start it, during my next round of golf. I think I'm going to call all my friends and see if we can book a tee time next week.
Just okay, so starting ASAP, that just shows how motivated and committed you are, to your new routine.
Mhm.
So as we're getting closer to the end of the call, what degree do you believe we progressed toward the goal you wanted to accomplish?
Yeah, I came in here with the expectation of, getting some tangible ways to help me with my golf game and my reactions when I may not be playing as well as I'd like. I think we did come up with some things I can do differently. Thanks, I appreciate that.
I'm glad to be here to help. So to recap, the next round of golf, you're going to implement a routine where you focus on having fun, staying calm and present through use of mindfulness techniques.
Yeah,
So how do you feel about integrating these strategies into the upcoming rounds?
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Book uh, uh, a tea time and figure it out with my friends, and see where this process takes me.
So are there any supports you may need to implement the new approach?
Mm, yeah, I could write down some phrases, like down on a note card, like "have fun," put them in my golf bag when I'm getting my gloves out of my bag, and put it in my golf bag to remind me that. I think I can look at those throughout the round. I think that'd be a good idea to start.
And how would you like to be held accountable to this new approach?
Yeah, I think I could maybe, I'm close with a lot of the guys I go out and golf with. I think I could, involve my golf buddies and so they can, know what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to involve some of them, and they would be comfortable with reminding me to, when I start going off the rails and reverting back to bad habits, to just have that accountability with them. I think that'd be great.
Okay, so it sounds like you'll have some friends to help you see it through.
Yep.
And I just want to applaud, your willingness to look at yourself and courage to make some changes.
Yep. Yeah.
So as we end the call, I'd like to invite you to reflect on some insights we discussed today. So what do you think you learned about yourself?
Uh, First of all, I know I really love playing golf, but I haven't been happy about my ability to focus and concentrate on my reactions like to bad shots. So I think I've been putting myself under a lot of undue pressure by focusing on my high scores, and I think I can get caught up with how I'm playing. What I may be doing wrong. When things don't go as planned, my emotional reactions take me further away from the game. So I think my inconsistent play is like partly due to allowing things like bad shots to distract me, and when I lose focus, I forget why I'm out there, what I'm out there to do, because I love the game. I love being out there playing with my friends. Just talking about it really helps me feel better about it. If I begin to focus on that, stay grounded, stay mindful about what I'm doing, I think I'll have a better experience of having fun again. I think it will take a lot of practice, but I know I can do it. Yeah, thanks a lot. This has helped.
Sure. And I'm glad we could partner together. So how would you like to end today's call?
I'm good. Just, I would like to maybe schedule another appointment. I feel excited and motivated to go out there and do this routine we talked about. I'm going to like share my goals with my partners because I have some really cool friends. They want me to do better too. So sharing this with them will help me stay consistent, with my routine and, being accountable, I think. I just want to show up as the person that they like to play with instead of that guy that, when you go out there, I'm not as like responding appropriately. So again, I really thank you for the help.
Yep. No problem. To be here to help, and we could definitely set up another time to talk. I'm here to support you as needed, and we can visit, your progress next time.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Thank you, man. I really appreciate your help. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right, have a good one. Thanks.
All right. What are your thoughts on that session?
It seemed like he went from beginning to end on the markers, but I couldn't identify all of them. Do you use all of them, or do you, because it does appear to be ordered. It did take the client through a system of thinking, a progression of thinking, right? From just getting on the map to figuring out what he was focusing on, and what he was repeating, and then going with that and staying on that all the way through to the end. But again, I don't know if he used everything like 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, or if there's a selection process, but he definitely followed it in order.
Yeah. So although it sounds like he followed it in order, it's actually the order comes from the natural flow of a session. So it's not like he's looking at a piece of paper and going in that order, right? Although when you're first learning, that's what coaches usually do. Like you'll have the model in front of you, and you just to make sure that you're kind of hitting the points. But yeah, it's a natural progression, and he hit most of them. We're just gonna look at the form in a second. He did hit most of them. It was a high scoring. It was an 87, I think it was, session. So it was really good. Well, let me see. Allison, what do you think?
Well, for me, there was just some learning of, boy, I need to slow down my coaching. But it felt a little circular, to be honest, at some points for me. So I was having trouble having it feel like it was progressing at some points. I felt like there were points where it was just kind of asking the same question, getting the same answer. And so and it was hard to focus on his tone. It was the tone was very bland. It was a very difficult session to, as a coach, he doesn't modulate much. So, it was a little tough. My ED was kicking in, I'll be honest, but, I felt like at some points it was like circular, like I'm just staying here because I'm supposed to be, or I didn't see the value of it in some points. So there was like a section in there where I just felt like it was asked and answered, and I didn't feel like it was adding more value. It did feel more like going through a checklist, to be honest, than authentic in some spots for me.
Okay.
I'd echo that too, because he started off saying he wanted to improve his golf game, but spent a lot of time talking about how he looked to his friends and being really sort of sad about his relationships.
Well,
And
yeah,
of it, his golf game was the minimal thing, and how he behaved when he didn't achieve what he wanted was the thing that he was focusing on.
well, because, I'd love to jump in. That one is that what our clients think their issue is and what the deeper issue is, right? So that's a big piece of the initial part of the coaching, is to find out what they really want coaching on. So he wanted to improve his golf game, but it really was, he wanted to improve his attitude so he could improve his golf game, right? So,
Right. And actually the coach got that out of him
yeah,
within
pretty
the first
quickly.
few
Yeah.
minutes. So yeah, it was about improving he said he wanted to improve his golf game, but that was part of it. Like just having how his reaction was wound up being part of improving his game. But it was interesting that you said that you felt like he was asked and answered. I think it was subtle how he asked the questions. There was a subtle difference. And some of it is really pointing to emotional intelligence.
Well, yeah, and that's where I said it was like, for me, it was like, okay, what can I, so for me, it was just an awareness of slowing the process down, right?
Yeah.
In a little bit, and staying where it's at, and yeah, so there was just that like point, like, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes, and it was like feeling a little circular for me. So unpacking that would be interesting.
So one of the things that we want to do, especially at an advanced level of coaching, is we don't want to take the client's first answer necessarily anyway. Sometimes you will, but if you can change the question subtly, again, a subtle way, it can help the client have a different awareness, or something that connects everything together, right? And so that's part of exploration. And that's what the coach was doing in that case. There was just subtle differences, but the client did, if you notice, the client's answers were not the same. So there was a little bit more of unpacking every time the client answered. So yeah, slowing down the session. And also that once he got the coaching agreement, again, which is topic, outcome, why, and how you know, those 4 pieces. Once he got those, it was very clear, very succinct, as far as it wasn't just how to improve my game. It was how to improve my game and, my reaction to it, which actually impacts whether or not my game gets improved, right? Because it could have been very broad with how do I improve my game. That's a pretty broad topic, especially in golf. Like it could be a bazillion different things, right? But we wound up getting very specific. So this was 30 minutes, a very specific area. And so we do want to slow it down, and we do want to explore the different areas and the different emotions. So this coach was great with asking the feeling questions. How will that make you feel? How does that feel to hear that? Checking in. He checked in with the who and the what on the emotional intelligence side a lot through the conversation. And then also as far as like with the friends, how he wanted to come off with the friends, not in those words, but so again, very pretty thorough, I'll say. So if we look at the first thing, though, I'm going to give you an updated framework, because the one that you have is actually the old one, and which means I need to really check everything else in there, make sure it's all the updated material. But here is this form, this sheet. I'm gonna give it to you in the chat. Yep. And I'm gonna share my screen. So if you look at that template I just sent you, the coaching framework, not the template, the coaching framework, you can see where the coach hit the focus on outcome following both, right? And this was the updated one where I was saying we don't say anything about confidentiality. We just say, I want to remind you that as always, our coaching session takes place in a judgment-free zone. Now that's my words. You can come up with something different. But it's just to kind of reiterate to the client that it's a safe space. However you want to do that, that's up to you. But we want to, again, you won't do the second part unless you have ongoing clients, right? But you won't do it too much in the class. But what would you like to focus on today's session? What would be the most helpful to explore? What's important for us to work on today? What would you like to think about today? And then what specifically would you like to walk away with? And how will you know we've achieved this? And then here are just different options here. How will you know the session's been successful? What will you feel the time's, what will make you feel the time was well spent? Any way you want to ask this second question is fine. And then you reflect back what you're hearing. And then, you know, what will achieving this goal mean to you? What will change for you? You know, how is this important now?
Can I ask I noticed at the beginning, he didn't reflect back for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, I tend to reflect back a little sooner, right? You know, and so I felt like he went through all of this without any reflection about, you know, is there different ways to do that? Or it just felt like, you know, what I'm hearing is that, you know, like this, when he even said to him, like what he wants to address first, I often help him recap it. What I heard was, you know, you want to get better at playing golf, but and you want to learn about how to control your emotions, how not to get more reactive, how to be enjoyable with your friend, more enjoyable so your friends want to play with you. Where would you like to focus on?
Yeah, so so this is kind of like the growing in the coaching, right? When I first 13 years ago, it was like you give a laundry list of everything that somebody said, right? You recapped 2 or 3 times throughout the conversation, and you kind of gave this laundry list. We don't want to do that anymore, really. We want to recap the most important thing, but really it's our questions that are going to help the client more than anything. But you can recap that agreement. You can say, what I hear you saying is you want to talk about such and such, and you want to walk away with such and such. Is that correct?
Okay.
But really, the main part is the exploration of what that coaching agreement was. And that's why he waited so long. He really waited until he asked that last question, the fourth question of the, you know, the importance, because he wasn't ready to reflect back, right? He wanted to give the client some room. Here's the problem if you reflect back too soon. You actually are leading a little bit because you're helping the client, you're kind of pigeonholing that topic and that outcome without exploring a little bit more. So you're kind of helping them define what that is just by that reflection back. We do want to reflect back, but we want to give some space to do it. That's
Okay.
That makes sense. I wouldn't have thought about that either. Because like Allison, I wanted to hear some reflection. but the client hadn't finished unpacking. And if you start reflecting now, you're right. It's like in a courtroom, you're leading the witness.
Yeah, and you're influencing that thought process
Okay,
or that
got it,
coaching
yep.
agreement. Yeah. So, yep, good observations. So again, this is just an updated one framework that matches more closely to the PCC markers, the one that I just sent you.
Okay.
But again, the coaching around part, these 4 pieces, he did very well. He acknowledged, you heard him a couple times throughout the conversation, he acknowledged any insight that the client was having. He acknowledged the progress that the client made. He showed support, empathy, and concern. Now, he was very monotone, I'll give you that. So empathy sometimes doesn't come across if you're too monotone. But his words were empathetic. He was respectful. He was engaging, with his words. He acknowledged the expressions that the client brought up, the words that the client used, right? He used them back to the client. He invited the client to respond when he asked a question. Like how would that make you feel? How does that sound? How does that sound hearing that from me? That's asking the client to respond. He coached the who of the person, definitely. He also coached the agenda, the what, that coaching agreement. He stayed on task. He did ask, where would you like to go? That's giving that client choice. He was curious about the client. He asked mostly those open-ended questions. I think he had 2 closed-ended questions, so it was very well done there. You can ask a couple closed-ended. It's not going to be terrible, but most of your questions you want to be open-ended. Curious about the client. He gave lots of space, not too much. Sometimes I feel like you have to find that balance, right? If you leave too much space, the client's just going to lose focus. And so, but we want to leave enough space that we're not jumping the gun, that we're not cutting off any thoughts or processes the client's going through. He used the client's language back at him, so he used custom language. He explored the client's words, expressions, definitely explored the emotions throughout. There were no energy shifts, really. Well, there was at the end, but not to explore anyway. He did ask about his perceptions, right? His mindset and how he perceived that affected him. So he explored that. He did not interrupt the client at all. He did summarize, I think twice he summarized very succinctly, clear cut, here it is. He asked about the current situation. He asked how it impacts the client, the who of the client. And he expanded on the what as well, the kind of the technical pieces of what would happen if he makes changes, what happens now. The shares and explores, he explored the feelings, and he did share what he heard or shared his thoughts on something and then gave it back to the client and said, what are your thoughts on that? Or how does that make you feel hearing that? That's what that means. Like, we're sharing what our thoughts are or our impression, but we have to make sure that we're giving it back to the client for observation and approval, affirmation or not. They might say, no, I don't really feel like that was it. Okay, that's fine. It's up to the client, right? Again, open-ended questions, concise language. Client talked more than the coach. I think it was an 83 or 83, 17. We look for an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time the client speaks, 20% we speak. We want to try and be in that ratio. He definitely explored progress. He did ask about new learning, and then how to apply that new learning. Had some action items for the client to take, talked about obstacles, talked about accountability, celebrated the client for their work, and then asked the client how they want to close the session. It's the best way to partner to close. Just saying, how would you like to end the session? Okay. So this is what your sessions will be evaluated on. It's just basically this form. You know, did you do it? Did you do it somewhat? Did you not do it? And then comments. And this is how we'll grow through the using the PCC markers and the framework. Questions about any of that?
No, I like having all that up front, especially because I don't have a background. I shouldn't say it, we didn't call it coaching. Right? There's lots in common. There's rapport and reflection and structure and all that stuff. We're trained to ask questions, although almost never how it goes, but
Yeah.
right? But I do like having the framework up front for myself, especially being new to this.
Yeah.
It's like having stones on the pathway. I know where to step.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much easier when you have a tool. The thing is just not to get tied too much into the tool that you're not present with the client, right? You have to go where the client wants to go and you have to be in the moment. But again, the models and the competencies have a natural flow. So it's not really that hard to be present and still, you know, cover.
Yeah, memorization's not going to be the strategy.
Right. Right.
I think for me is that I almost have to, well, patience is going to be a big one for me. And that my tendency to use my intuition to know where they're going instead of letting them go there, to be honest, right? And so that's going to be, so this is part of the reason I wanted to, you know, is that I know that because I do so much consulting and so many people hire me as a coach consultant, you know, it's to get back to the pure coaching model. And so this is going to be some good rewiring of the brain, right? Which is really good. Yeah.
I mean, I take courses like this all the time to keep me, because I'm a business coach, so there's consulting there.
Yeah.
And I do mentor, so there's definitely direction that I'm giving, right? So in order to make sure that I stay in those competencies, I have to do it. I need that practice. And I always make sure I have at least one life coaching type client. So it keeps me fresh in that area. So with all my business coaching, I still make sure I pull in a life coaching, or if I'm doing the Recovery Nation, which is my nonprofit, if I take a client on there or whatever, to make sure I staying up on my skill and not always consulting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So questions about anything that we covered today?
Now, I'm assuming we're going to kind of start building this up from the bottom. You know, we're going to kind of like, not like here's the model. I think part of it is going to help us with each like section of the model as we go through, right?
Yeah, so each competency is represented in that model. And so as we go, each chapter has a competency attached to it and an emotional intelligence piece, which we really get into in class 5 or 4, 5, is when we look at the whole emotional intelligence model. And we talk about the 15 scales, or the 15 scales and subscales. So so it's just, it'll progress as we go.
Okay, and so by Wednesday, we should have gone through class 1 and 2.
Yeah, so read through the class 1 and then read through class 2 for Wednesday. And we'll go over the competencies, the ethics, and we'll also listen to a second recording. And then during that one, though, you guys will actually look at that feedback form and fill it out. So you'll give, have 2 competencies for each for you to look at and give some feedback on at the end of the next session. So
hopefully there'll be more energy. More, that was tough, man. That was I will say that was tough. Well, just his energy was so monotone. It was really, my ADD was kicking in big time.
Everything started with so.
Well, just there was,
yes, he definitely had a habit of saying so.
my dad did. I think for me, it was funny. I did a talk today on communication, And one of the things was about managing your energy, changing your energy and the flow and the pace to keep the audience engaged, right? I mean, obviously the guy was engaged and he wasn't doing this for, coaching. He wasn't coaching for our benefit.
Right.
So
He
I
wasn't
understand.
coaching for an audience.
Yeah, so he was effective at what he was doing for the audience that he had. It was just challenging as doing it for an audience. I got a little spoiled by the WBEX coaching, right? Because
Yeah.
there's so much energy in that, right? Yeah.
Well, there's the next one isn't as monotone, but I actually love that session. I just love how it's like almost effortlessly. He's not struggling. It's just one step after another, and I just love that.
Well, it'll be
I
really
feel-
interesting to listen to it again at the end of the course and see if there's a
Yeah.
different appreciation for it.
Yeah. But different people perceive things different ways. So
It was
No, it was
really
good. It
good
was,
to hear and not see, because I rely so much on part of it is my hearing is a little bit off too, but usually I'm seeing facial expressions and I'm leaning how they lean, and I'm touching my face how they touch, and all of those other things that I was just missing.
yeah,
and that's
Yeah.
actually better for us though, because it forces you to become present in a way that we're normally not.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard more.
yeah. What's funny, before the pandemic, all I did was audio only coaching. And I loved it because you can hear every freaking breath, every pause, everything. And I'm a better coach audio only, personally, I believe. And it was this whole pandemic thing that got people wanting to be on camera. And I would have at my old house, I had a chair, I had a pose I got into, and my notebook, and I got into coaching mode and I loved it. I would love to go back to audio coaching, but people want what they want.
I was doing Zoom before COVID, but I learned through bridge lines. That's how we did it. They call bridge line or Skype. That's how we did it. So yeah, it's a different, you use different skills and it's a different level of competency for
Yeah.
listening. Anyway, okay, so thanks guys. I'm gonna check that portal because I think I don't know what that chapter had a couple things in it that didn't match up with the new one. So I want to see if maybe they connected the wrong one. I don't know. And if that happened, then I'll put a note in there for you to re-download it or whatever. There's only very slight differences. It's not anything huge.
Well, so the 2 downloads we did today, I deleted the first one.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Look over chapter 2 and any of the supporting materials, and the homework assignment for this one is your vision. Again, don't download the homework assignments from the chapters, just use the workbook. And you can do those at your own pace. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys back here on Wednesday. Go ahead, Bonnie.
So I looked at the homework doing the vision and stuff. I have no idea. It's
Yeah,
so
don't worry, don't do it now.
okay, good, because I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, just wait. You're not gonna probably know that right now. You might not even know it at the end of the course, but by then you'll have a better idea of what it would look like, maybe.
yeah, I have to. So
Yeah, don't worry about doing it right now. In a week or 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have a better feel for everything.
mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Have a wonderful
Thank
night. I'll see you back here Wednesday.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Nice to meet you, Bonnie.
You too. Bye.
Bye.